While I have some file reorganization happening, I thought I would come in and show you the next steps using double pointed needles on my Christmas socks. So I mentioned that you have stitches on all 4 needles. These are not connected yet. So what I did was cast on everything onto one needle and then transferred them evenly across. So I have a total of 64 stitches, which is, if my math is correct, 16 stitches per needle. And then you're going to use the 5th needle to knit with. So when you set this up so that it ends up being in a circle, you want to be careful not to twist the stitches. And the best way to do that is to lay it down in a crisscross tic-tac-toe pattern and make sure that all of your stitch bottoms, I guess is the best way to put it, are pointing toward the middle of your square. And this here is where we're going to start knitting and connect in the round. So, and it's been 2 years, I think, since I've used double points, so this is probably going to be fiddly. So these 2 are going to be like my back needle, which is like where the heel and things go. This one is going to be one of the front needles, and it needs to twist that way. And then this one is going to be my other front needle. So I need to bring them together like that. So let the rest of those hang, because they're basically just needle supports. Make sure you've got this needle as close to the other ones as possible, and then knit your first stitch, and off of the left needle knit the next stitch, because we're going to do 2 by 2 ribbing. And then, ooh, it's already very fiddly. And then we're going to purl 2. So there's 1. Gotta get in front. And 2. And I keep going off camera. And 1. Purl, knit, knit. Now that we're connected, we can just keep going. Purl, purl. And let me get things a little more organized here. Move your stitches up. So yeah, that's 2 purls. Now we've got 2 knits. And 2 purls. And 2 more knits, because it's 2 by 2 rib, which means 2 knits, 2 purls until you get to the end of the row. And now this needle is free, you just knit all the stitches off of that. So now you're going to use this needle that you just freed up to go on to the next needle in the sequence. And you can see this is our working yarn here. So our next needle that's closest is this one. Just make sure that these stitches are pointed downward. Take this needle again, and you want to try and keep from getting ladders. So this needle goes in here. Get all 3 needles as close as possible. Knit your stitch. I feel like I split a stitch there. Yep, something doesn't feel right. There we go. Get everything up real close. Now, there. Move that more toward the middle on this one, because it doesn't really matter. Just get them close. Knit that one. Knit the next one. Snug it up, and then you always snug up on the second stitch after you change needles. Ugh, come on, get back there. And What you see here is why I knit magic loop. These are very fiddly, although these needles are wonderful. I love these, the way these feel. I'm just, at the moment, not very coordinated. So, I'm going to finish this needle and then get back to my video. I need another pearl. Get back to my video file organization. Whoops, which takes quite a while. And then I will see you back. Hopefully I don't give up on using double points. But you see the struggle is real, right? Although these are really nice. So I finished that second needle. So here you can see we've got this needle done. Now we're going to move to this needle. This one's free, so we can keep on knitting. And you just keep doing that around and around. Keep following that square around, but instead of making a square knitted piece of fabric, it makes a circle or a tube. So that's how you do it. Okay, we'll be back. Ooh-wee. This is why a lot of knitters say that if you're knitting for other people, they need to be knit worthy, because this takes a lot of good hand-eye coordination and patience. And if it's not something that you enjoy, and you can tell that am I twisted? I hope I'm not twisted. No, I don't think. Well, no, I'm not twisted. It's just tight up here. Whew. I really don't want to start these over again. But I'm giving it a go with the double points. Can you imagine who came up with this when knitting was first invented? I mean, holy cow. And who thought to, you know, go pluck some hair off of a sheep and twist it and see that it made a string, so that you could use that string then in these complicated stitches to create a fabric that then becomes your clothing. Go figure. Just amazing. Just amazing. And I was really hoping that this was going to be a little more smooth. Those are knits, so I got pearls next. So go a little faster so that you would see that, yeah, it's not so bad, but yeah, there we go. We got a little bit of speed happening there. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing, because I am not looking at the camera. Now, one of the dangers with dangers. One of the pitfalls of knitting with double points is that each of these junctions of the needles, you have the potential for having extra loose stitches because you're transferring from one needle to the other as you're knitting. And that's called laddering when those stitches are extra loose in there. So when I first started knitting, yes, I had a lot of ladders because I dove right in with all of everything. When I started my first pair of socks, I had wooden double points from Deborah Norville. I never knit socks before, and I was trying to figure this out and figure out how to knit socks. So, in for a penny, in for a dollar, in for an ounce, in for a pound, or whatever that saying is. You're all in. You put a little bit in, you might as well go all in, right? So there, to help with that ladder on the second stitch after you have your new needle in, always tug it tight. Don't tug the first one, tug the second one. And yes, it's counterintuitive, but with the way that the yarn goes on the needles, the way that the stitches go, the second stitch really is the one that pulls that other stuff together without making everything else wonky. So yeah, give it a go. See what you can do. Let's see how my Christmas socks turn out. My other option right now, because all of my normal magic loop circulars are in use for socks, I have a 9-inch circular that I could use, but I did one pair of socks on that and started a second pair, and I went back to magic loop after that, because the way that you have to hold the 9-inch circular is so much different than these, even a needle that's like this size, because you see I can hold the entire needle in my hand like that and manipulate it. The 9-inch, the needle's only this long, so you have to hold it like this and knit as you're going, and you get cramps up here. So I said no thanks, which is why I opted for these instead of the 9-inch circular. So anyway, I hope you're having fun watching, and look at that. That color is cool. Very cool. I can't wait to see how these turn out. Anyway, okay. Have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow.